Stopping by woods on a snowy evening has had a long, strange history. It started its life in 1999. I was commissioned by a woman in Austin, Texas, to write a piece in honor of her parents, who had both recently passed. And she was asking me to set the family's favorite poem, Robert Frost's beloved Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. And I told her on the phone I wasn't sure that I would be able to do it. First, I didn't know would I be able to write music that could do justice to these two people and the lives that they had lived, such a beautiful family they had made. And also, would I be able to set Robert Frost's poem? I just didn't know frankly, if I was up to the task. And I spent a couple of weeks with the poem. I memorized it, I walked with it, I let it live in my body. And I called her back and said, okay, I think I can do this. And I took about 4 or 5 months writing this piece. We went to Austin, we premiered it, and I think there was a sense of catharsis for the family. I know there certainly was for me. And then we went into the publication process. And that's when we were told by the Robert Frost estate that no, we could not use the poem. And that we were free to use it when it became public domain years and years and years later. So I thought that the piece would just go into my bed. And then I had the idea to contact my best friend, Charles Anthony Silvestri. And so I gave him sort of this impossible challenge. I need you to replace Robert Frost's poem. I'm not going to rewrite much of the music. As I said, it was impossible. And Tony wrote this new poem called Sleep. And it was magnificent. It was just otherworldly what he did with it. For 25 years, that is the way that it has been performed. It was published that way. And I hadn't really thought that much about the original Stopping by Woods, to be honest. And then at a Christmas concert at the end of 2024 with my professional group, the Eric Whitacre Singers in London, we wanted a piece that would close the concert. Stopping by Woods is in public domain now. Why don't we just sing this version of it? It hasn't been heard in 25 years. What struck me most about that performance and that I was totally unprepared for is how different the Robert Frost setting is compared to Tony's setting. To my ears, Tony's version has this lush, warm, almost feather bed-like quality. It feels like you're laying your head down onto the pillow and going to this place of gentle rest. Robert Frost's poem is much different, I find. It's very unambiguously about death and dying, but it's got an edge to it. There's a shimmer in a way to the poem. There's an unknowing, an unease almost. And the narrator of the poem, faced with this, the end of their life, is saying, not yet, not yet. I have miles to go before I sleep. Miles. There's a resistance to it in a way. I was unprepared for the fact that made the music, the notes themselves, different. It made the piece and the performance of the piece and the experience receiving the piece different. And I had never intended to do this, but hearing it, I thought, we should release this version. It's the way that it was originally written, what I originally intended. And the two pieces can sit alongside each other. But more importantly, I think, a testament to how powerful the poetry is. It's really something to behold how much essence of the performance itself is based on the poem, independent of the music. I do hope that you enjoy Stopping by Woods with the Snowy Evening. I hope that it that you find the same kind of interesting meaning. And I encourage you to go and take a look at what Tony did if you've never seen that version as well. Both are astounding. And now that I'm 25 years out as a composer, I am humbled to have been part of this strange unfolding.